this is my sort of, well, again, I probably didn't come up with this, but the way I look at it, the first 5 of the 10 important points are more obviously physical, even though there's really no division. The last 5 are more mental, even though there's really no division. So we're getting, or another way to say it would be, we're getting out of the realm of, hey, do this with this part of your body. Like, first one was hold your head like this. Second one, hold your chest and back like this. Third one, do this with your waist. Fourth one, do this with your feet. Fifth one, do this with your hands and arms and elbows and shoulders. Sixth one, so good. Use mind and do not use strength. Have you heard this one before?
No, sir.
Cool. So use mind and do not use strength. That's just the point. But the Chinese words say more than that. That sounds very like, ooh, mystical, right? Well, in this mind and strength, the mind is the word yi, which means basically the part of the mind that decides to do something. So when you feel that in your mind, like, I'm gonna do this, right before you do it, that's the part of the mind they're talking about. Just, as the mind is experienced, not necessarily like a part of the brain. Okay, and then maybe there's a part. So use mind and do not use strength. Now strength here is not like the ability to do things. This means specifically localized muscular strength. So some particular muscle you would build up by working out. So use mind and do not use strength. A lot of commentary, I'll just read it, and then if there's any questions, I'll try to come back and clarify. If I try to clarify when I'm reading it, it'll just be more confusing, I think. So, what the whole Tai Chi Chuan treatise says is to use mind and not use strength. In Tai Chi Chuan's training, the whole body becomes loose and open. There is no localized muscle strength which would stifle the tendons, bones, and blood circulation so as to cause you to be bounded or tied up by your own strength. If you're not this way, bound by your own strength, then you will be light and swift and able to change circular turning at will. Perhaps you may doubt that you shouldn't use strength. You wonder how you're going to increase your strength. The human body has many channels as the ground has channels, such as springs, sewage drains, etc. If these channels are not obstructed, the water is able to flow through. If the tendons, ligaments, and blood vessels are not closed, then the chi is able to flow through. So a little analogy there. If the whole body stiffens up, then the chi and blood will get stopped, will not move smoothly. If you pull one hair, the whole body will move. If you do not use strength but use mind, then wherever your yi wants, that's where your chi will be. If you do this the way you're supposed to, the chi and blood will flow daily, moving back and forth, flowing throughout the body without stopping any time. Practice like this for a long time, then this is the authentic internal Jing. And that's a different kind of power. That's like whole body power. This is, as the Tai Chi Chuan classics say, extreme softness can later become extreme hardness. Whew, a lot of commentary. For the people who are expert in Tai Chi Chuan, their upper arms and upper backs are like iron wrapped in cotton, extremely heavy. And then we talked about the external systems. For people who train in the external systems, when they are using strength, their strength shows. When they are not using strength, they become light and floating and off balance. From this we can see their strength is only on the surface. The external system strength is very easily achieved by others and is not considered to be of great value. So, little talking you know what on the other guys there. Just, these people very much believed in Tai Chi, so I'm glad they did and passed it down, even if they had to talk about how much better it was than everyone else. There's a lot to talk about in there. Do you have any questions about that before we try it? That's a lot.
Okay. Probably not ready for questions yet.
Cool. Yeah, no, that's good. So, luckily the way to try it is easier than understanding all that commentary. Let's see if there's anything I can pull out that would help really quickly. I think the main, if the whole body stiffens up, the whole thing, an analogy that I think of is drunk driving accidents, where the person who was alert enough to be tense is usually injured more than the person who was drunk and wasn't aware enough to even tense up. And now that relaxation actually, I don't know if it's ironic or not, but that actually protects them in some way from the accident. So if you just if that's too just out there, maybe there's just a little example of that there. And then But that's not really helpful with what to do except for relax. So as we go, yeah, here's the way to look. I like this approach. There's a few ways you can go at it, but we'll go through the whole first section, and now the only thing you're on the watch for is feeling that extra, that lead, that localized muscular tension. So as we go through the form, just check, like, do I feel localized tension in my arms? Can I relax it? Oh yeah, I could a little bit. Oh wait, I feel it coming from my waist now. That's a canned example, but the whole thing, when you're doing single whip, you're like, okay, where do I feel tension? Okay, relax it, relax it, relax it. So it's a different focus on the body than hold this posture, go here, turn here. I'm talking a lot about it. Do you have any questions before we try it?
No, sir.
Okay, so let's try the first section. You catch, just see whatever localized muscular tension you can notice and release as best you can. Or the easy way to say it is relax as you move. Begin. Don't worry about any other aspect of your form. You've already learned that. Let it change, play with it. Maybe you could think of it as like a game. The game is how little tension can you really have and the move still happen. What's the lower limit of tension before the move just stops or your body collapses? Certainly there has to be some tension. Maybe it's less than you thought. Feel it. Do you feel it in the shoulders? Feel it in the neck? Feel it in the arms, the waist? Feel it in the face? Brush and push two. Breathe. And release. Good. All right, how'd it go?
Pretty well. I definitely let go a little too much and missed a step or two. It felt
Yeah.
good. I felt like I was trying to be like a rag doll almost,
Yeah.
but I was also not trying to like completely fall over, so I felt a little more like the normal.
Excellent. Let's go one more time.
Sure.
Trying to think if there's another approach that would be helpful, or if it's better to just stay consistent with relaxing at the moment. Probably relaxing. Yeah. Begin. through, see if there's some part of your body that you've held still without realizing. Some part of somewhere in the chain that is being held tight without trying. Might be a little bone in your foot, might be your right thumb. Could be release it like you would drop something you were carrying and didn't want to carry it. Something unimportant. And once you do that, see if you can find the next thing. Drop it too. Until you almost can't tell which part of the body is making you move. Enjoyed that. I hope that was good for you too.
Well, it actually felt better than the first time. I got a little caught in my head for just a second, and I was like, stop it, and then I quit thinking about it, and we just moved through it, and it really helped.
Yeah. And if you couldn't hear on camera, there's a really good distinction about catching yourself being in your head. That's the thing about being in your head is it's easy to not notice, right? Because that's where you are. Yeah. But when you catch it, it's almost like stepping back, right? And you're like, oh wait, I have this whole thing going on that I can pay attention to, really. You know?
Don't think about what you're doing, just do what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. What's the thing, like if you're walking and you start thinking too much about how you're walking, you trip yourself up or something? I don't know. Nothing crazy. Yeah. All right, so we're pretty much on time again. Excuse me. Do you have any other questions, concerns, anything about this or any of the other 10 important points?
It's interesting to transition from the kind of the more physical to the more mental important points. I know they're all both, but
right, it feels very different, though, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, I really love the 10 important points. They're still been doing this a while, 15 years now, I think, and they're still a source of help or something, for lack of a better word.
Well, they're very well named then.
Yeah,
They're important.
Yeah. All right, let's do our life skill. We'll bow out. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt.
Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit.
A creative spirit
has no self-doubt. Path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit.
A creative spirit has no self-doubt. Do you have any questions about the life skill? Because usually I don't give any details on it, and some students have made a point of like every unit, they're like, do it slowly, show it to me. So if you have any questions.
I think I ironically just have self-doubt in the step in. But other than that, no, it feels good.
Yeah, it's always funny when you mess up the life skill with the life skill in question.
It's like, oh, you don't have any doubt, but you just roll through it wrong, then that's not great either.
Yes, sir.
Sir. About a senior head instructor?
Thank you. About to beginner students, anyone else watching? Black Access training dismissed. There you go.